on Reshoevn8r Nation. I'm Jordan and I'm back with another Shoe Care Academy video. Today I'm going to be cleaning up this cooked pair of citrus Jordan 11 lows using our Deep Clean Signature Bundle. Now I had the pleasure of rocking these shoes just about anywhere, and as you can see, I was not too great to these shoes. Stay tuned to the end of the video to see how I styled these through the process of getting them dirty, and let us know in the comments if you like it. Now, as I mentioned, these shoes are cooked. But before we start cleaning these up, let's talk about the materials of this shoe. Now, the Citrus Jordan 11 is a little bit different than most 11s. This has a primarily leather upper, whereas the Bred 11s, Concord 11s, and Space Jam have mesh right underneath these lace loops. So this shoe should clean up pretty easy using our solution and brushes. So let's get started with this cleaning. But for the first step, we're going to put this left shoe aside for before and after purposes to show you exactly how this shoe cleans up. And then we will add our adjustable shoe tree. Now these are a size 10 in women's and an 8.5 in men, so we're just gonna adjust this to size. Now, as I mentioned, this shoe is mostly leather, and I did rock these shoes just about anywhere, from the gym to the racetrack to even a Reshoevn8r basketball camp. So they do have some creasing on this toe box, and this shoe tree will help get rid of that creasing, but also allow me to put more pressure on the toe box when cleaning to get all of this dirt and grime off. So for the next step, I'm just going to remove these laces, and I'll get started with our soft bristle brush on the entire uppers. Alright, I went ahead and removed the laces and set them in our bowl of water because they're going to need all the soaking time that they can get. Now I'm going to use our soft brush to just dry brush some of this sand and grime off of this sneaker before I start cleaning it to avoid making a muddy mess. All done dry brushing the sneaker to get as much loose dirt as I can off. So now I'm going to be adding 2 squirts of solution to our bowl of water and then using solution and the soft brush to get this shoe all bubbly and hopefully take care of all of these gross stains on this leather. So without further ado, let's get started. Done using our soft bristle brush on the entire upper of this shoe, and as you can see, this leather is looking crispy. However, these lace loops and this sock liner are going to need a whole lot more work. So we're going to go ahead and use the medium bristle brush on this midsole to get rid of some of this grease, as well as this nylon sock liner and these lace loops to hopefully bring them back to life. Now, if these don't go back to bright white, they definitely will when we use our padded laundry system. So let's use this medium brush. As I mentioned, these lace loops and this sock liner might not clean up with the medium brush, and I was right, they do still look super dingy, but once we put it in the washing machine, it should be able to bring these back to that pure white, just like we bought them. Now, there is a couple more stains on this midsole material, so I'm going to be using a trick that Johnny Bubbles taught me with our microfiber towel and then some solution in water to buff out these stains. And then I'll hit the outsole using our stiff bristle brush. Done doing the pre-treatment on these shoes with our 3 brushes and our solution, and it's looking a lot better. However, as I mentioned, it will go in the washing machine to get this grimy stitching, lace loops, and the nylon sock liner back to life. Now, before I put it in the washing machine, let's talk a little bit about this sneaker. This originally released in 2001 and then again in 2015 as a kids exclusive, and this pair right here released in May of 2021 in a women's size. Now, I must say this is the perfect shoe for summertime. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of 11s, but I am a huge fan of this Citrus 11 low. I was asked the other day if I would rock this in a high, and I definitely would not. Now, for the final step before I add this to our laundry system, I want to take care of this super grimy insole as well as the laces. So I'm going to go ahead and remove our shoe tree, take our insole out, and scrub it with one of our brushes in solution. Let's do that now. The insole using our soft bristle brush with our solution and then a little bit of the medium bristle brush as well. Then I patted it dry with our microfiber towel, and then I went ahead and cleaned up these laces. Normally I just run them through my hands and then squeeze out the water, but since these laces are super thick and they were beat, I went ahead and scrubbed them with our soft bristle brush and then dried them using our microfiber towel. And now I'm going to put the insole back in with the shoe tree and put them in the laundry bag, and we'll get ready to wash these sneakers. All right, these are all bagged up. So before I throw these in the wash, I want to talk to you about the Deep Clean Signature Bundle that I used. The Deep Clean Signature Bundle is one of the best options for cleaning your shoes. It comes with everything you need to give them the deepest clean possible. And let's just take a look at this cleaning mat, which is disgusting. Who would want this on their kitchen table when they're cleaning shoes? And you can pick up the Deep Clean Signature Bundle at Reshoevn8r.com using my link in the description to save 10% off. What are you waiting for? We're going to add 1 laundry pod to this little pocket right here where we put the laces, and they'll be ready to go a normal cycle with cold water, and then we'll let them air dry until we figure out what the results look like. These are closed. Hashtag train wreck. They're ready. I'm gonna go ahead and put these in the washing machine, and I'll see you guys when they're all done. This shoe dry outside. Now, we did have to wash it a second time just to get the dinginess out of this sock liner and these lace loops, but as you can see from this before and after, these shoes cleaned up great. Now, we used our Deep Clean Signature Bundle to get these shoes looking how they are. To recap, we used our soft bristle brush on the entire uppers, our medium bristle brush on the midsole, the lace loops, and the sock liner, and then we hit this outsole using our stiff bristle brush. Then we went ahead and put these in the laundry system using our laundry bag in pods for 2 cycles, normal cycles, cold water, And you can pick up our Deep Clean Signature Bundle at Reshoevn8r.com and use my link in the description to save 10% off. If you liked today's video, hit that like button, and if you're new here, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys again soon in the next Shoe Care Academy video.